All right. It looks like I am live. Been a long time since I've been live. I have wanted to go live for a while now. Just haven't been able to due to work, things like that. We are going to start off by discussing comments. I feel like staying on here for quite a little while today. I actually kind of got my wife to allow me to stay on for a little while tonight and made sure she was home. So all right, so first one, we're going to just discuss some comments that we got from other peoples. And the first one we're going to talk about is Mr. Rob, WWVCO. Thing about Rob is I actually work with Rob, so I know him from work. Cool dude, work with him. Says, I showed up to work, I followed protocol and procedures. I am not a hero. Just happened to be working at an LTC pharmacy during COVID and a hospice and in substance abuse. Reminds me of the story of the Air Force veteran assigned to Elmerdport, AFB, Alaska, at a snack shack. A snack stand. Service group, aka kitchen group. He got veteran status since he served during the War on Terror, as I recall. Great video. Think about this. Me and Rob have had discussions. Hello! Nice to see you, Santana Monica Rodriguez. Nice to see you today. But the thing about this, me and Rob, we work with each other, see each other probably at least 4 days out of the week, if not 6. So we've had this same discussion multiple times where we're both in substance abuse, so we do absolutely nothing to help COVID. Like, we are not part of helping COVID at all. And every time, every time we get dressed up in our full PPE, uh, Rob or I will say, "Saved a life today." You saved it due to COVID, but in reality, we are doing absolutely nothing to help these people. With COVID, and that was really sort of the basis of this video that I did. And I just don't like being called a healthcare hero. We didn't do anything. We just didn't. I don't really like the term healthcare hero to begin with. Um, I just think that uh, people aren't treated like heroes. They're just not, and then, it's not a good look upon us, as nursing staff. Uh, it is what it is. I just don't care for that term, healthcare hero. And if we're gonna be heroes, give us a lot of money or give us, something that, uh, makes us look like heroes. Do something for us to be heroes. So I'm gonna give Rob a heart and thumbs up. Probably not gonna comment back on that one, simply because I work with Rob. But I may comment back on that one because I comment on all of them. Let's see. This girl right here, Nurse Kaylin, I think is how you pronounce that. Apparently was at like a grocery store, and people did not identify that she was a nurse, as she was just an LPN. However, anybody who's an LPN already knows you're a nurse. And this terrible person, I don't think she's a terrible person. This person at the grocery store was just like not being cool. Um, at the grocery store this woman was at. I mean, it was, she spent years of her life in school to become an LVN. She must either be in California or Texas. Um, but years of her life to become this nurse, and now just being disrespected at the grocery store. I hate it, and not even that. She said she wore a stethoscope uh, and her scrubs, so she probably got hateful looks, for being that as well. You don't show up places wearing your scrubs without hateful looks, especially if she did not have a mask on. I can imagine out in California it's probably a lot worse um, than in Texas, if she is in Texas or California. She's in one or the other since she's a LVN. Um, but yeah, terrible situation. I hate that for Nurse Kaylin there. It's Just terrible, terrible situation. Awkward to begin with. Let's see. There was a couple. I was looking through these earlier today to see which ones I wanted to really discuss a little bit later on in this when I was finally able to do my live stream. Where is my guy here? There's a guy, Max. Oh, Joe says there's websites to buy from California. Nice, California with the LVNs. Joe Friday here with the websites to sell bogus COVID cards. There's nothing to these COVID cards. They're so easy to make, and all you need is a lot number, credentials, and an expiration date, and you could have one. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all that there's bogus websites. Interested in becoming an LVN, but I'm nervous about it. What exactly are you nervous about becoming an LVN for? Once you decide to become the LVN, the hardest thing to do is taking that first step to become, to decide that that's what you want to do. Once you decide you want to be an LVN, that's the hardest part. And then once you decide it and you get that drive and you go for, go into nursing school, take all your prereqs and whatever. Once you've made up in your mind that's what you want to do, it becomes easier. I'll say nothing is easy about nursing school, but once you've made up your mind and you say, hey, I'm going to do it, it definitely gets easier once once your heart's in it and you get that drive. Hardest part's telling yourself you want to do it. That is definitely the hardest part of it. There we go. This guy here, this Max guy. I'm not going to pronounce his last name because I'll probably pronounce it wrong. I'm going to say Kovefi. Probably incorrect on the pronunciation of this. He had commented on the video of the girl suing the doctor for being born. I mean, for starters, we need to discuss the fact that her mother was like, go ahead and sue this doctor because you're here. I mean, as a parent, I could never say, yeah, sue a doctor because you're actually here, when you're basically saying, my life would have been better without you as a child. I don't see how the parent of this individual was able to do this. This little girl was born with spina bifida, and they blamed it on the doctor for not telling the woman to take folic acid. And Max's argument is that in 2001, which was 20 years ago, I'll just read it because apparently he spent an hour to research it. First, during the 2001 appointment, Evie's mom had recently stopped using contraceptives to prepare her body for pregnancy. So the couple wasn't even having sex specifically to avoid health problems, blah, blah, blah. Good reasons to wait. Evie's mom went to the doctor specifically to ask what she needed before getting pregnant. She asked about folic acid. Do you know what that doctor told her? Keep in mind this was 2001, modern day. He told her she didn't need it. Go home and have lots of sex. Had Evie's mom been informed the way their socialized healthcare providers are trained to inform women seeking fertility advice about supplements to take, answer should have been along the lines of, yes, take folic acid, is widely recommended. Here's how much you need, blah, 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 actual medical advice. He didn't leave it out. He actually said not to take folic acid, that she wouldn't have needed it, had a healthy diet, and literally said for her to go home and boink her husband. The argument the doctor made to defend himself mostly just, but I don't have my notes, I can't remember. This was 2001 when computers in doctor's offices was totally normal. Okay. I can say the judge rightfully, being super annoyed at that argument. The argument Evie made was for her mom and dad would have waited to have sex, would have given her mom's body time to store up some folic acid that would have this 20-year-old child doomed and spent most of her days in a wheelchair on feeding tube, being fed by tubes, As Evie's mobility gets worse, she's going to be show jumping for much longer. she's not going to be short-term for much longer. The wheelchair life is just going to be around the corner for her. Right now she's okay, but that's about to change as she ages. Even as young as she is, her mobility decreases every year, all because some doctor wasn't taking his job very seriously that day. TLDR, I'm not sure what that actually stands for. The money awarded to Evie Toombs, I think that's how you pronounce it, is justified, and it'll be a strong reminder to doctors about professionalism when giving medical advice and documenting their parent interactions. A few issues I have with this. As I've said before, how in the world is your as a parent are you going to say, go ahead and sue the doctor for you even being born? Basically, you're saying, our life would have been better without you, child. Go on and sue this doctor for even being born. That's messed up. Two, I don't know the age of the mother, and I don't know the diet of the mother at the time. She could have been a very healthy 20-something-year-old woman, and being about 40 now. I don't know the diet of this woman, and if she was a healthy 20-year-old, how many healthy 20-year-olds get pregnant, without planning, without folic acid, and have no issues? Number three, he's saying computers in doctor's offices in 2001. Bro, we literally just went paperless at my facility back in the summer of 19, I think, 18 or 19. Yes, computers have been around for a while, but that don't mean that we've been charting on them for a while. So you're saying, number one, that he was on a computer, which I bet he was probably on he probably had a person writing on a typewriter, or physically writing. Let's assume that he had a computer at the time. Software has changed so much in 20 years. The fact that he probably doesn't have it is a fact, because the woman probably transferred once the child was born with spina bifida. She probably went to another OB doctor, and so these documents probably hung around until 05, 06-ish, and then were probably destroyed as the woman transferred, so another facility took her documents with her, because documents don't stay around, forever and ever and ever and ever, like people think that they do, unless they're, like inside of a hospital system. This was probably like just inside of a doctor's office, which they don't really have to hang around. I think it's 5 years. I could be wrong, but we're also in the U.S. and not in the U.K. This happened in the U.K. It could be wrong, and he actively said not to take folic acid. The documentation that the doctor probably did in 2001 probably read something like, met with patient. Patient was X number of years old woman. Discussed pregnancy. Follow up once pregnant. That's probably the entirety of the documentation, unless this woman came in for a complex case, and I doubt she did, saying that she had a healthy diet. So I'm having a hard time reading this and then following the argument that can be made for the girl. I don't have, there's too many, and none of the articles that I read either really explained very well what was going on there. I'm having just the hardest time understanding why someone would argue for this woman. Also, it says the socialized health care, which, yes, they do have socialized health care out in the UK. I guess it has a script, which, why would you even have doctors if you have scripts? Oh, looks like you have this problem. Let me read my script as to what to do with it. You go to doctors because some doctors you like, some doctors you don't like. If they're all socialized and they all do the exact same thing, you're not going to like any of them, or you're going to like all of them, so I just have a problem with that one. I have actively not commented back on that one because I know it's just going to be a huge argument through the comments, and so I decided not to comment back on that one. But I did decide to bring it up now because I don't think Max is going to watch this particular video. If he does and then comments on it, I will comment back. But I actively did not comment back because I'm having the hardest time understanding why he thinks in 2001, we still have that charting, even if it was done on a computer. Possibility is there, but chances are software has been changed so much. Um, different companies, they change over, and then things get lost, and the woman probably transferred from that facility to another facility, and so all of her paperwork probably went to that and stayed at the original facility for like 5 years maybe, but I would be very doubtful that that documentation even still exists from that visit. And how they were even able to prove that he said don't take it is how they were able to prove that. I don't know. Don't know. Spent too much time on that one. Nurse Key. This was an awesome comment, and she wrote like a bunch of stuff. Anyways, I was so excited about Nurse Key even commenting on this, and I even wrote down, wow, I'm glad that you actually found me. Nurse Key has like 1 million views. I mean, 1 million subscribers. It is just like amazing that this huge name nurse was actually able to find my channel, and then liked the video, and it was just huge for me. It just was. I was like, this is amazing. How in the world did you find me, Nurse Key? You have, I think she's in the hundreds of thousands. You have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Nurse Key. I'm just glad that you were able to find me. Blew my mind. I'm not her comment, although as long as it is, isn't necessarily one of my favorite ones. Just the fact that she found me was just amazing. I was blown away that somebody with that many followers or whatever was able to find me. It just was. So I really enjoyed Nurse Key finding me. We'll see what else we got going on. I know I got one from Nurse Bass also. Might be Nurse Bass. I don't know. They're the same. It's the same name, or it's spelled the same, but it sounds differently. Which is, crazy to me. Well, I don't remember what those words are called. Anyways, J.R. Ewing says he's glad to hear that I am prepared to continue my education. I have been thinking of going back and getting my FNP. That is the end goal. The FNP is the end goal. I don't know if I'll ever do it. I just keep telling people that I'm thinking about it. But it's awesome that people are excited that I'm thinking about it. It just seems like the more and more the COVID goes on, and staff's getting shorter and whatnot, it just kind of makes me feel like it's getting closer and closer to time for me to go back to school. I really want to wait on my kids to get a little bit older though. I don't want to do it with my children being so young. I just don't. I want them to get older, and I don't want to miss things, because I know when I go to school, I'm gonna miss a lot of stuff. I don't want to miss games. I don't want to miss really any school function. And I know as soon as I go to school, I'm going to. So I'll be, when my youngest graduates, I'll be 50. So yeah, 32 years. Yeah. So I'll be 50 when my youngest graduates. So not too late. What is up? Is that wedge pressure? What is up, my dude? Or dudette? I don't know. With a name like that, you could be a dude or a dudette. Not sure what's up. Wedge pressure. Cool name, by the way. I like the koala. Not a what is those ones called? A sloth, like everyone else is into right now. That is a koala. Like the koalas. Let's see here. Oh yeah, making nursing school more like the real world. Yes, I did definitely think that was a good idea. However, I will completely agree right here with Nathan Murray. You're not going to find a nursing instructor to ever agree to do that. That will never ever happen. I mean, these nursing instructors, for the degrees that they are drastically shortchanging themselves. Many of them, even at my community college, were master's degree nurses, and they're getting paid in the $20 an hour. When if they were out in a hospital setting, they would be making minimum 40. Cath lab nurse, awesome, and a dude, cool man, cool. Love the cath lab part of it. I was on a diabetic unit. It was at the time the only diabetic unit or the only diabetic ICU in North Carolina. But we would get some cath lab people come up to us once they left the cath lab, if they were a diabetic, because we were a diabetic ICU. So it's like if you did anything and then were a diabetic, you came to us for whatever reason. We got all kinds of stuff. Like one time I had a person that they had removed the top of their skull and put it in their stomach, and like sewed the skin back together. They put the skull in their stomach to like preserve it or something, but the individual ended up being a diabetic, so we got them, because diabetes took over all, I guess, is what they considered, what they decided. It was ridiculous, but I got to touch like the top of his head and feel his brains. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I tell my daughter all the time, like, I touched some brains one time, and she'll be like, "No way!" I sure did. Yeah, touched it through that man's skull. I don't remember how I got to touch it because I think it was part of some sort of assessment I had to do, but I got to touch it. But thank you for loving the channel. Yes, and much love to my cath lab people. Spent a little bit of time down there. Never worked down there, but pick people up. But yes, Nathan Murray is 1000% correct. Like I said, those nursing instructors, they have like MSNs. Even in my community college, you're not going to find anybody that's going to take already a $20 an hour pay cut to work more, because somebody is going to have to stay with that student that you hold over. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my proposal was to like at least each student get held back over clinicals 8 hours. I think I said 8 hours. To real world, because you never really know when you're going to leave. You're supposed to leave at a certain time in nursing, but you never really know. Oh, I'm leaving at that time. Yeah. It was a good proposal, in my opinion. Of course, it was my proposal. However, like I said, Nathan is 1000% correct. No one's ever going to go for that. No one is ever going to go for that. Do you have to be COVID vaccinated to go travel the world? My assumption is yes. Yes, you have to be COVID vaccinated. I like the Mr. Beast sort of looking thing there. It is all right. Definitely sort of copying there. Yes, if you want to be a farm tech, at least here in North Carolina, you do not have to go to college. You do have to find someone who's going to let you work, though. But you're in North Alabama, and North Alabama is not North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, not North Alabama. It is what it is, though. Good luck to you, Miss Connie Sisson. Probably pronouncing that wrong, Miss Connie Sisson. It is the best I can do as my Appalachian American pronunciation. I am not the best at pronouncing words. Absolutely correct. Alright, did I say this one? I know I've seen several of her comments that I wanted to comment back on. I will say, we'll just go with yeah, because I feel like I know how you say the first word in that one. Miss Yeah here. Like I said, I feel like I know how you pronounce her name. Long-term care facilities will struggle, and they've been struggling a lot here lately with the COVID. Because like they don't necessarily get the money, but they still have the COVID patients. I've even heard of long-term care facilities, like shutting down an entire wing just to take care of like chronic COVID patients who were like on vents and stuff for like over 2 weeks. I've heard of nursing homes doing that. So it's like when the nursing homes do that, they start to bring in a little bit more money, but they're not really sharing it with the nurses, I guess, or probably they probably are, but it's probably a huge cut in percentage. Um, and then not only that, you have to take care of like the rest of the population of that nursing home, which is terrible. But Miss, yeah, she has a lot of comments. I always like reading her comments. They're always pretty good. But like I said, I feel like if you've ever seen that movie, it was it was the high school movie. Ben Affleck was in it, and Matt Damon was not in that one. Matt McConaughey was in that one. Not Fast Times. Oh, I cannot remember the name of that movie. It was a Led Zeppelin song, I feel like. Dazed and Confused. Yeah, if you ever see Dazed and Confused, Ben Affleck had that word on his paddle before he paddled the sixth graders. Hey Chris, just wanted to say I love your videos. Great personality for doing videos. Have a question though. I really want to be a nurse one day, working as a pharmacy tech right now. Pharmacy tech is, Mr. Miranda, pharmacy tech is a great, fantastic start to going into nursing, as you are going to learn so many meds, and coming into nursing, meds is definitely something that you do a lot of. I would say probably, of course I always say be a CNA, but like a pharm tech is like right below it. As far as the best jobs to have before you become a nurse, because you should already know, being a pharm tech, pharmacy tech, that you already know that you need to know time management, which is something you'll really push in nursing school. The patient care end of things that the CNAs get is sort of where you'll have your issues, but you'll have the meds down pat. Because you got to know like class action, time of duration, side effects. I feel like there's one more that I'm missing, but you'll know all of the med stuff. You'll be good with that. You'll just have to do the hands-on whenever you get that far. It says, what does this say? I'm anxious because I have a criminal record. Just wondering if you heard any success stories about nurses with records making it. Yes, I have. I have worked with nurses with criminal records. It sort of depends on what it is. I know here in North Carolina, it can't be like it can't be like a sexual crime in nature. But I think that you can still appeal it. But I think like peeing in a park, which in North Carolina, if you pee outside in a park, you'll become a sex offender. I think you could probably appeal that, but if like you sexually assaulted somebody, I don't think you could appeal that. And I don't think I think it was something like drugs. Like if you have like drug charges, I don't know if that counts as like possession of pot or like peddling fentanyl. Of course, they're weighted completely different. Of course, you can appeal everything in North Carolina. I don't know where you're at, but in North Carolina, you can appeal everything. Your best bet, and I've had very good success with talking to my board of nursing, the North Carolina Board of Nursing. I have actually personally called them myself a few times, and they may not get back to me that day, but they've always answered my questions. I forget how many people they're made up of, but made up of several people that really they just sort of write the laws and answer the questions that you have for it. So yes, I have heard of nurses having records. I don't think I know any nurses who are felons. I don't think I do. If I know any nurses that are felons, I don't know they're felons. No one's ever discussed that. But I don't think I do. But yes, I have definitely met some nurses that's been, been cuffed. We'll say it like that. So yeah, it's definitely possible. You may need to. What kind of school would be the best for that? Maybe ECPI is going to get you in and out as quick as they can, anyways. They're not really going to worry about it. They're just going to want their money. But like a community college would be your best bet to answer your question, because they'll tell you right up front, like, don't even bother coming in because you're not going to pass, or you're not going to, make it because of your record. ECPI is not going to do that. They're just going to take your money and then put you in the class and then see if you get in or earn out or not. But it is what it is. So good luck to you out there. And yes, I hate that you got the record, but yeah. It's a simple assault from an abusive relationship. But I look up to you guys. Maybe one day. I appreciate everything you nurses do. Well, thank you for looking up to us. It's a simple assault, so it would be. I would assume it would be violent in nature. I don't know. I don't know if that's one of the things that get you out of it or not. Check with your state. Check with your state's Board of Nursing. They are phenomenal. They do a lot of things. Great people to ask questions to. It's probably going to take a few days to get back to you though. But yes, definitely check them out. Or check out what are they called? The directors of the community colleges. I don't know, the community college nursing director. I know that they have an actual name. It's not dean, it's something else. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah. Check out somebody who can help you in your state who is local. But unless you're in like California might hold you back for that, but a lot of other states right now, fortunately for you, Miss Miranda, you are in a very good time to go back to school because they're begging for nurses everywhere they go. So definitely you're in a good spot right now. Like I said, unless you're in like California, I don't know who else would be really strict on that right now. I would just assume California right now, but again, check with your state's Board of Nursing. They are really California's is they're their own entity, really. They just are. Let's read Mr. Carl Bell's comment here. He says, Chris, I have a serious question if you have time. Sorry to ramble on. I've commented on your channel before and you've been very helpful. Currently taking first semester prereqs for an RN program, but I am 45 years old going back to school. It is the most difficult task I have ever attempted or even imagined in my life. I would much rather drop back to a local LPN program that has no prerequisites at all, pass my state CNA course easily, and learn much better in a vocal type setting. I'm thinking I would rather take the LPN, start working, than take other classes at my pace. Would love to become an RN, but educational level is far from that level. School is frustrating that I can't function, and it makes me want to quit it all. Would you make sense of becoming an LPN first, get the experience, and then begin to hate it? Sorry to ramble on, man. Thanks so much for the channel. God bless. So when I went to nursing school, I think I started when I was 27. The economy was in the tank back then. You're talking that 08, 09 sort of economy. Everybody was hurting real bad. I remember one guy who was ahead of me, and I was doing my prereqs, and he was third or fourth semester. He was, close to graduating, and he had spent like 20 years working for Freightliner, and then they laid him off, and so he had to go back to nursing school. The dude was not a nurse. He was like a maintenance man at Freightliner, like big hands, burly man, worked his whole life at Freightliner, and then they laid him off and went back to school to become a nurse. And he was, I'm gonna assume 50, much older than myself. And like I said, I think I was 27 at the time, maybe. No, I was probably, anyways, probably about 25. Anyways, um, he uh, he was telling us how hard it was to go back to school because he didn't have anything but a high school diploma. But he finished. Like I said, I think he was in his 50s, early 50s, late 40s, early 50s. Spent his whole life working on big trucks, building big trucks, able to do it. So at 45, yeah, you should have no problem. Um, but the dropping back to the LPN program from the RN program, would I advise it? The LPN, I wouldn't. If I was going to do it, I wouldn't go any further. But that's just me. Um, there's so many jobs out there for LPNs right now that it is unbelievable. And this individual probably has, he'll be 65 in 20 years. So why spend so much more time going back to school? Why not just finish the LPN, and then because you're gonna be able to make plenty of money as an LPN. I mean, yeah, you're gonna take a pay cut, but typically you're going to be over your median salary for your area. Typically, anywhere you look, you're going to be over that median salary as an LPN. Unless you're really wanting to be Jeff Bezos and be billions of dollars. Yeah, he should have no issues just dropping back and doing the LPN first. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I was in nursing school with plenty of people who dropped back. I was in nursing school with one girl who dropped back, got her LPN, got her BSN. I don't remember if she did her MSN or not. LPN, ADN, BSN. Now she is FNP. And just watching her as sort of, I watch her on Facebook. Post her things or her accomplishments. That sort of made me want to keep going. Man, if I'm 45 years old and I start my BSN journey or my FNP journey, then I'll be perfectly fine. I don't think that's too old at all to go back at all. 45, I was in class with, like I said, the economy was in the tank at the time, but I was definitely in class with people in their 50s. Definitely in their 50s, because 08, 09, 2010, all the way up to about 2012, really, no one had a clue what to do for work, because no one was working at that time. We were just all trying to survive. I had kids too. I had a kid. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Here we go. Nurse Bass, or Base. I'm not sure if it's Bass or Base. CNA to FNP. Back on the road traveling. All right, that's what's up. I have worked with a I don't remember if she was an FNP or not, but she was definitely a provider who went from CNA to provider, and she put people on the bedpan. Ooh, that hurt. She put people on the bedpan. Like, no provider ever puts anybody on the bedpan, ever. They just don't. No one, no one puts anybody on the bedpan as a provider. But this woman started as a CNA, and I can't remember if she became a PA or an FNP or just an NP. I don't remember, but yeah, she definitely would. It was awesome. So yeah, the CNAs, the people that started as a CNA from the way bottom, or even the pharmacy techs like Miss Miranda there, those people that started down low like that typically make the best higher up individuals. Your LPNs, ADNs, RNs, BSNs, FNPs. The people that started at the bottom that didn't didn't start from the top. They typically make the best providers. Nurse Bass here wants to know whereabouts in North Carolina, which the fact that he found my channel was amazing, again, because he has, like, as I said, 1,850 million subscribers. He has a lot of subscribers. I did give him very general whereabouts. The shortage is real. 7 to 9K a week on the road. What do I think of travel nursing? I'll get to travel nursing in just a second. Bubba T. Bubba T? Babba T. We'll go with Babba T because I think I probably pronounced that wrong. Nurse Bass has a Facebook friend that I went to high school with, which is pretty cool. And I believe he is in Kannapolis, North Carolina. I don't know if he wants me saying that or not. So he is about an hour south of me or so. Could be wrong of where he is. What did I do before nursing? I'll get to you in just a second, Miss Miranda. Let me answer the question about travel nursing. I don't want to travel nurse. However, I am currently working with a traveling nurse, and she has told me how much that she is making. Like, I mean, she gave me, between this and this, and her low end, her low end of how much she makes is leaps and bounds above what I make. I mean, she is making just a tremendous amount more money than I'm making travel nursing. Same job, and just making a tremendous amount. It's not for me. And the only reason that travel nursing is not for me is because of my children. I don't want to leave them, and I don't want to make them have to move schools, because assignments are like 14 weeks, I think. So they would spend like one semester here, one semester there, one semester there, unless I drove the distance. But then again, I would miss things from school. So it's not for me, at least not at this point in time in my life. Miss Miranda, you want to know what did I do before nursing? I worked for Chevrolet. Worked for the car company Chevrolet. I worked on cars, and I drive Fords, but worked for Chevrolet. Well, I have a Cruze, but only bought it because it's straight drive. Basically, what I used to do for Chevrolet was I would take because a trailer brings in the cars, and they're all like plasticed up. They're all surrounded in a lot of plastic. What I would do is I would take them. I wouldn't drive them off the trailer, but someone would drive them off the trailer and just leave them somewhere, and I would take them from where they're at, and they're right there at the dealership. Take them from where they're at, bring them inside the shop, and pull all the plastic off of them, and make sure like the seats match what they're supposed to be. Make sure that the engine is the option that was ordered, and things like that. And it, sometimes they like one time the most memorable one was we got a regular Corvette that for whatever reason had Z06 seats in it. And we had to get that changed. So it was a lot of just sort of monotonous little task at Chevrolet. And that position got gone when September of '08, when the economy crashed. And it was not much fun because they had literally just had a conversation. Like, they brought in all the mechanics, and they were like, no one's losing their job. And like the next day, they're like, Chris, you're out. So that dealership is now a Walgreens, by the way. So it is what it is. Alternative to travel nursing is local contract. Yes, I have heard of local contract nursing. I have heard of that, and the thing about that is, I've been the charge nurse before who was the super mega jerk, who when you show up as the agency nurse or contract nurse, whatever you are, the nurse that's not there. I have actively given my nurses easier assignments than I have contract nurse, only because I was looking out for my people. And yes, that's a jerk move, but at the same time, I'm so happy that you're there. And I've never been charge nurse and not worked a cart or a cow. We call them cows. And the only reason I would not do that, yes, I know you get paid a lot more than I do as a contract nurse or a agency nurse, is because I've been that nurse who dumped on them, and it does suck. It just does, and I know it sucks, and I just don't want to. Oh, I like what I've got, and I want to keep what I got um, going on as far as assignments, and I know what I'm doing at my job is probably why I haven't changed in like 7 years. I don't want to change, don't care to change. I know that there's more money out there elsewhere. Um, but yeah, it's all because, and I know the money is so much better. Yes, I am fully aware that the money is twice as much as what I'm getting paid hourly. And then I'm not even sure how I think the taxes work differently also. But yes, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to leave what I've got. But yes, I have thought about it. Um, yes, I miss the days of free charge. They now want to charge nurses to have ridiculous Peter Man. I used to live with a guy. We called him Peter Man. Are you Peter Man? Peter Man? Tell you about Peter Man real quick. The Peter Man I lived with. The dude in '01, May of '01, we thought he was a genius, mega genius. Enlist in the Army Reserves in May of '01. He's like, hey, I'm going to um, I'm going to join the Army Reserve May of '01. They're going to pay for my college with the GI Bill. Then September 11th happened. The dude went to college for like 2 weeks, and we didn't see him again for like 7 years. Oh yeah, he got stuck in Iraq. Uh, that was the Peter Man that was my roommate. It was terrible. But anyways, free charge nurses. Yes, charge nurses. I do remember these days as a CNA. When I was just a CNA, yes, I remember the days when charge nurses did not take teams. Um, they simply helped you. They simply helped the regular floor nurses, and honestly, that's what they need to do. Um, Me and Rob, one of the commenters, have discussed that too much management is not good, but then not enough management can be worse. And I think that charge nurses not taking teams is the right amount of management, but it could easily go to too much management, which then could be bad, but not enough management could be worse. And so, if you have a charge nurse who doesn't have a team, and you have a task that comes up, or a code, or whatever it may be, that charge nurse can be right there. If that charge nurse is running a team and charge nurse, then it's going to be hard for that charge nurse to get, wherever the emergency is, wherever the thing is. Yes, completely agree. Charge nurses do not need teams. They need to be charge nurses. And I don't care if they sit there at the nurse's station next to the phone the entire night because there's nothing for them to do. The fact that they're there in that position is what they need to be. That's where they need to be. Yes, I agree. 100%, 1,000%. Yes, charge nurses do not need. Um, they got rid of admission nurses. Wow. They got rid of admission nurses. That sucks. If anybody who's ever done an admission, oh, I did several yesterday actually. Yesterday? What's the day? Saturday? Um, Anybody who's ever done an admission knows you ask like a minimum like 150 questions. You ask so many questions, and some of them you repeat. You repeat like, I don't know how many times that you repeat allergies to medications. Yes, you repeat so many things when you're a nurse, admission nurse. Oh, it's terrible. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever worked a facility where we had a specific admission nurse. That's what our charge nurse used to do, actually, when they didn't have a team, simply because the charge nurse didn't have a team, so they could do admissions. Um, which, you know, again, frees up that charge nurse for admissions, or for whatever it may be. But if you don't have a team, or if you have a team as a charge nurse, then your regular floor nurses are doing their admissions, then coming to you for advice. You know, it's no, it doesn't work. No, maybe we definitely need to charge nurses out of teams. Definitely, the admission nurses. I've never worked with one. I've never seen one. I've heard of them. I have never seen one. Um, but yes, definitely, we do need them. 7 patients on a tele floor. Oh, 3 were admissions. Oh my gracious. Ooh, that's miserable. So you probably had to run strips on them too. Man, anybody who's ever run tele 7 though, I didn't think you could do 7. I thought 6 was like, well, last place I worked was the diabetic unit that had tele, but we had a limit of 6. Man, you had 7. Ooh, that is miserable. So tele is basically the um, the telemetry, the little electrodes are stuck to your chest so that your oh man, I cannot think right now. Your rhythm runs on a screen basically, and those yeah, I used to hear those things in my sleep. Those tele alarms, boo doo 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 boo doo doo doo. Oh, anybody who knows tele, oh, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've never been to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've never been that far north, actually. I bet it's cold up there right now. Woo! Cold up there, but yeah, down here. I mean, but this was at Winston Salem, North Carolina, or as we call Winston, because there's Winston and Salem, but everyone puts them together. Um, yeah, I've never been that far north. I do not know the laws up there, but yes, 7 should not be allowed. There's too much you have to do just in those strips alone. Just in reading those monitors, the telemetry on those monitors, just reading that alone for 7 patients. My gracious! And then if they were finger sticks or maybe even a bed alarm would would set your night off, and 3 of them were admissions. So you're talking just in the 3 admissions alone, you're talking 45 minutes per admission. I mean, that's what, 2.5 hours of your night was just admissions. Ugh, miserable. I hate that for you, dude. I do hate that for you. Ugh, that was miserable. Change of pace here. Jonathan Young says, "You want a Del Sol?" I absolutely want a Honda Del Sol. They were the greatest. Yeah, telestrips, Q4 hours. Yes. Yeah, I was thinking you had to run them quite often. Yeah, Q4 hour, and you probably had to run them more. Like if you had something irregular change, if you went from AFib to, well, I was about to say asystole. Yeah, you definitely had to run AFib to asystole. But if you if you had something change or if you had an alarm go off, you probably had to run that more than. So you're talking. Oh man, so you probably ran 3 sets of strips on 7 people. Ooh, so 21 strips you had to run? That's, ooh, dang. Buddy had a Del Sol with an Integra Type R engine swap. I feel that, Joe Friday. I definitely feel that. Ooh, I hate that for the tele strips though. But back to my Del Sol here, sort of changing pace here. Del Sol was a very popular car when I was that like 10 to 12 age range, because they were like 92 to 96 or whatever. I thought they were just the coolest thing, because that was like 6th grade to 8th grade, I think, when they were like the huge, brand new. And the top came out and the window rolled down and they had 2 seats. Man, I thought they were the bomb. I had no clue what a B18 or B16 or D15 or any of that was, and didn't care. I just thought the car was awesome, and I wanted one. I still do want one. That one right there in the comment is about half a mile from my house. I still want one, and I'm still thinking about those tele strips that you had to run every 4 hours. That sucks. Dang. Anybody who's ever had to run tele strips, like if you've never ran tele strips, you don't understand. I guess I don't know. It's no, yeah, count me out. I am so sorry, dude. I am sorry. All right. Oh my! If you've never seen this video, this was I made a Master Sheet Med Pass. Um, Anybody who's been in long-term care or who is brand new to long-term care, I used to carry a card. Um, it wasn't a card; it was like a piece of paper that I wrote down on. Every single patient. Like I showed up one day. I don't even know if it was my day to be there. I think it was my day off. But like my third day there, I realized I had to change something about it. I wrote every single patient down and a special code for myself to remember like time they got meds, um, if there were blood sugar checks, how they got up, special notes I needed to know. And so if you haven't checked that out in your long-term care, check that out as well. With the rise of gas prices, Peterman with the automotive question. The rise of gas prices. Do you think it's time to switch to electric? Um, sure. Why not? I like electric vehicles. I do not have a problem with electric vehicles. I have contemplated building my own electric vehicle. The problem with electric, at least here locally, and you probably don't have this issue being in Milwaukee, which is a fairly large city, where to charge them. We have one gas station called Sheets, which I think they're a national chain, has, I'm going to call them electric gas pumps. Probably wrong. I think that's what you call them. But there's one gas station locally that has electric gas pumps. So that'd be the only reason why I would not go with electric, at least for me locally, is because I could not charge it. But I think you can plug them into your wall at your house. So if you're not driving, how far do they go? 240 miles, I think, something like that. If you're driving less than that, I wouldn't see a problem with it. Joe Friday says, I graduated high school in '01. Always loved the S2000s and the EM1 Civic Si. Prelude SH. My mom had one. My mom had a Prelude SH. That car was pimped. The whole dash lit up. I'll talk about that here in a second. Integra Type R. Those were the cars back in the day. Yes. Like I said, my mom had a Prelude SH. Or did she have a... No, I think it was a Type S. But anyways, my mom had one. And that car was pimp. Oh man, I loved her Civic or Prelude. It was white, and man, it was the coolest car. She got it like when me and my sister were old enough to where we didn't have to like ride in the back. Um, that was a cool car. She had it. My mom had a Civic Si also, but it was maybe like a '89, maybe '89. It was a hatch. She had a Civic Si, she had a Prelude SH, and my mom had a Shelby Dodge Shadow. If you've never seen one of those were cool. She graduated to a convertible Camaro SS 1LE, and now she has a Mustang GT convertible. My mom has always had cool cars. Just, oh man, always. It was so much fun with those cars back in the day. We used to, man, when I was in high school, we used to run them just we'd take my mom's car out because she always had something cool. And then when I was 16, she had an EXVL Accord. I don't think that there were very many of those. The EXVLs, they were pretty quick. You probably have to Google what that is if you're not in the Honda loop. It was a cool car. Hey, Joe also says, I hate to get out of the floor work years ago. Hate to get out of the floor work years ago. I worked med surg and was depressed and miserable. I was stressed while working that. My heart resting rate was around 115 to 130. Yes, I feel your pain on that as well. I remember one time taking my pulse ox. We had an event go down, and I want to say somebody had like a terrible UTI, and it went south quickly, and like there was nothing I could do. And just kind of sit back and like resting. My heart rate was like 160. Like I was constantly taking my own vitals. I was taking my own vitals like crazy because my resting heart rate was like I said, like 160. Ooh, I remember that day. Yes, I stressed out all the time on that particular unit. Made it through it. Yes, I remember that. It was terrible. It was. Whew, bring back flashbacks on that one. Not a telefloor though. Not a telefloor. It was not the diabetic. We called it the DICU, diabetic ICU. Like I said, the only one in the state of North Carolina at the time. Jealous of your mom. Now those Preludes to this day are nice looking. Even the new ones, yes. Finally picked up a 2017 Type R several years ago. Yes, my mom is a car person. And little known fact, my dad is a race car driver who decided to race cars rather than raise a family. So you would have thought my mom would have got out of that mess. But no, definitely stayed heavy in the cars. Even after my dad was like, deuces, I'm going to race cars. And so dad rolls out. Mom keeps like cool cars. She's had like, I don't know how many Camaros, like 4 maybe? She had a 70, she had a 79, the 20, what year was that? I think it was an 11. Could be wrong. The 70, 79, 11. And somewhere in there is another one that was a second gen. I can't remember the year of that one, but yeah, she's had some really cool cars over the years. And like I said, it's surprising that she still likes cool, fast cars, you know, especially because my dad was like, see ya, I'm gonna go race. Whatever he did, I'm gone. Yeah, with 2 kids as a single mom too, you know, she still rolled up in some cool cars. We definitely had, none of them were like, none of them were custom though. They were all stock. But yeah, it was definitely cool to like see my mom roll up in, you know, something cool at work or whatever, or at school or whatever. Yeah, cool cars. Yeah, she had a few cool ones. Yeah, definitely. Um, it was awesome. I like the fact that this guy here, Idiot Fishing, asked me a NASCAR question. It was actually during a race. I thought that was really cool. And it was the Roval, I believe, which was local to me. Really cool that he asked me that question. It was awesome that he asked me that question during the race. And I just thought, hey, you thought of me, so that was cool. You know, whatever it may be. Liz Welsh, and the reason why this one stands out is because she worked as a CNA through LPN school, struggling living paycheck to paycheck. I did the same thing. I worked nights as a CNA because, like I said, the economy was just in the trash at that time. Worked nights as a CNA, so all I could find a job at, and went to school at the same time. And it was really, really hard for everybody. And I remember eating those Michelinas. Like, those were our meals, you know, the dollar, they're noodles, and you like peel the box top of them and you microwave them. They were like $1. I remember eating those for meals, like multiple meals, and just telling myself, you know, it'll all be worth it once I graduate this program. And you know, she's struggling living paycheck to paycheck. Yes, I remember so much eating those stinking Michelinas, and I can't go down that aisle anymore at the grocery store since I graduated because those things were so terrible. But you know, that's what we had to eat. They were miserable. Ugh, hated them. But glad to see that you are now out of nursing school. Love those frozen meals. Ugh. Joe, have you eaten them for multiple meals at a time? That was like, ugh. That was our meals. That was, ugh. And we would also get I don't know what they're called. I know that they're a Lunchable, but they're a Lunchable and they have the drink in them. That's like a bottle of water instead of the normal Capri Sun. We would get them when they would go on sale, and we would eat them. That was like our big meal. Ugh, hate them. I can't do them anymore. I can still eat frozen meals, just not the Michelinas. I got to step it up to the Boston Market, I think is what they're called now. The Boston Market frozen meals, yes. With inflation climbing to 7%, Lord help us, anybody banking on 401k at this point needs to rethink. Peterman, I got a 401k. Dang, I guess I need to rethink it. Yeah, probably do need to rethink. But I mean, it doesn't really matter where you put your money. It's, in the end, you're either gonna have it or you're not gonna have it. I wouldn't put like a massive amount of money in 401k or really anything at this moment in time other than bills, because you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, but their economy is crashing right now due to their housing crisis. I think it's a housing crisis. I think they built too much too quick, is what caused their crisis. So when they come knocking for their rent money that we owe them, I think America's going to run into some more financial troubles. So it just doesn't matter where you put it, I guess. I don't know. Good thinking point, though. Yeah, but I have a 401k, or I have a savings plan. It may not be called a 401k. It may be called something different. I'm not 100% sure what it's actually called, what the actual technical name. 403b? Is that a thing? 403b? 401? 401b? I don't know. Something like that. The Stofers. Yeah. The Stofers. Yeah. Do I work overtime constantly? But the Stofers, yeah, I'll eat the Stofers. Yeah. I will eat them. I can't do the Michelinas. Do I work overtime constantly? I'm working a lot more overtime than I've ever wanted to work right now, simply because I'm floating to another unit often, and it sucks. And I don't like floating. I want to stay where I'm at. I don't want to float. And yes, I'm working quite a bit of overtime simply due to floating to other units. I forget what my last check had on it, but it was in the 90s of hours. Which, some of you are probably like, oh, you only work 90 hours? Yes. I forget how many hours it was exactly, but yes. And it's terrible. I was doing like 6 days a week for like 4 weeks in a row. It definitely weighed hard on me. I don't think my family enjoyed it either. But yeah, I work overtime not on purpose. I don't like to work it on purpose. I will do it. I just don't like to. It is me. You get crappy patients, and they give you the travelers. Yes, I do get the crappy patients like they do the travelers. They do, however, every time I float, and I don't know why they do this to me, but every time I float, I'm also precepting. I don't know if that I'm precepting because I'm floating, or I'm floating because I'm precepting. I don't know. But yes, when you float, they'll give you terrible patience. But the thing about that is, at least I'm in house, I guess. But yes, they do give you the terrible patience. Is it karma? I don't know. I don't believe in karma per se. Is it what goes around comes around? Did I reap what I sowed? Probably, yeah. Probably did, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. Yes, not much fun there. Yes, it was. Uh, Whatever. It was. It was terrible. I'm not going to pronounce this name wrong. Beaky T, Beki, Beaky. An experienced nurse on YouTube said agencies won't hire new grads. Agency wants several years of experience before considering them. You work day shift. I don't work day shift. No. Do you only precept on day shift? No. No, we precept at all times. No, but my shift is 4 a.m. to noon. So if you want to call it day shift, you can call it day shift. But I do 8s. So it's 4 to noon. But if I'm floating, I'm leaving at like 2 at the earliest. Like 4 to 2. Yeah. Like the earliest I'm leaving is 2. I think I've got out before 2 like one time. But yeah, if you wanna consider that day shift, yeah, you can consider that day shift. But no, it was what was 6 to 6 or 7 to 7, 6p to 6a or 7p to 7a. I can't remember which one it was because we had to show up like they called it like by the hour, but you were really there at like 6:37 or 6:17 or something like that to like 6:37 the next day. I think it was 6:17 to 6:37 the next day. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong, but they called it like I think they called it 7 to 7, but it wasn't 7 to 7. Agencies won't hire anybody with years of experience. That I'm assuming just depends upon where you're at. When I was a brand new grad, even before COVID, I had agencies calling me, asking me to help or to work for them. Yeah, so I had agencies calling me. Yeah. What shift? I'm in substance abuse. So no, I'm not in the ED. I'm in substance abuse. So sort of early in the morning till noon. Yeah. But I have heard of like the ED will work like 3 to 3 or what else do they do? They do weird shifts. Like they change like the ED locally has like a regular 7 to 7 and then a 7 to 7. But then they split it and they have like a noon to midnight and then they have like a 3 to 3. And then is there another one that comes in? I think that's the only 4 shifts they have. So 7 to 7 and then the other 7 to 7 and then noon to midnight, midnight to noon, and then 3 to 3, I think that's it. I could be wrong. But yes, no, I'm not in the ED. I'm in substance abuse. And yes, I do 4 to noon. 8 hours. So it is what it is. But to be honest with you, I specifically took this job for the hours because I was able to sort of get a little bit of sleep and then still do things with my kids like throughout the day. Because I've never missed a school function because I'm done, by the time they get out, and I'm able to pick them up in the afternoons in the car rider line. Exhausted, but able to do it. Substance abuse background. Please consider psych nursing, psych nurse practitioner when I go for my MSN. It's a gold mine, and they're in high demand. I will agree with you. They are in high demand, yes, because our providers are psych. Because I don't think that there's a specific substance like providership. I'll call it providership. I don't know what it's actually called. Our providers are psych. We have one that was oncology who, for whatever reason, like transferred over, I guess is what you call it. Anyway, she fulfilled her requirements to become our provider. But yes, psych. Yes, this is definitely where it's at. I don't know that if I want to go straight to psych though. It breaks my heart when I see people with like tardive dyskinesia, where people just can't help doing like that because it's something that we as the medical field did to that individual. I don't know that they would change it because they can live a normal life with tardive dyskinesia, and I don't think they could with the whatever it was that got them there, the schizophrenia or whatever. But yeah, every time I see somebody with tardive dyskinesia, I'm like, oh, we did that to you. I know I didn't specifically do it. We were trying to help, but yeah, we did that to you. Yeah, it was not very cool, but yeah. But yeah, I could probably do psych and stay in substance abuse. I'll probably do that. I don't know. Peds is where I want to go. I want to go to pediatrics. I did pediatrics in the very, very, very beginning of my career. Very beginning of my career, I did pediatrics. Joe says one time he gave a report and the nurse thrived on intimidating others. I had a nurse that I worked with on the DICU that made everyone, like, her goal was to make every new grad cry. Like, we had an older nurse that told one of the new grads, she was like, "All right, you're getting a report from," and I'm gonna make up a name, not her real name. "You're going to report from Nancy, and Nancy's gonna make you cry. Don't you let her see you cry." And it was a girl I knew from other units, and she was like, "Okay, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." And Nancy, the made up name, did not make her cry to her face. The girl went to the bathroom um, and like stood in the corner and cried. But yes, we had a nurse who was like, she was like maybe 60. She didn't walk very good. But yeah, she like just thrived on making the new grads cry. Just did. It was terrible. It just was. It was, ugh. Yes, terrible night. Am I live streaming tonight? Yes, I am. I am live streaming tonight. Covered in tattoos, and I will not get my blood sugar checked. No one will get their blood sugar checked if they're covered in tattoos. I have no idea why. I have absolutely no idea why. Everyone who has tattoos, I mean, they could be sleeved up, face tat, huge gauged ears, piercing here, eyebrows, tongue, noses, not getting blood sugar checks. Just not happening. And I've checked a lot of blood sugars. Good evening. Nice to see you today. But I have checked a lot of blood sugars, and I will go ahead and tell you, like, the toughest people in the world are like mom-alls who are, 85 years old, and their fingers are just calloused up everywhere they go, and they're just like, just do it. I'm not gonna say where, just do it. And you stick them, they don't even move. You gotta stick them like 2 or 3 times because their fingers are so hard. But the tattooed people, the people that you think would do it, but they just don't want their blood sugar checked for whatever reason. They just don't, and I don't understand why. They've already been tattooed up. Makes no sense to me. None. No sense to me. Do I think hospitals will bring them back, talking about LPNs, with everything that's going on right now? I'm applying to schools with the RN program. I also plan on applying to LPN program because I don't want to wait another year to get into any of the RN programs. LPNs also gives you credit towards local RN schools. Yes, I think that hospitals are going to start bringing LPNs back. I think that they've already started bringing them back. I don't know how much longer they're going to be there. When I very first got into it, just before the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, LPNs were everywhere. They just were. They were everywhere. Every unit had them. Some of them were even charge nurse. They were just everywhere. Even in the big time, cardiac units, there were sometimes charge nurses that were LPNs. And all of a sudden, when Affordable Care Act, it's like a light switched, and they were gone, never to be seen again. They were just gone. And so I think that they're going to start coming back. I don't think they're going to come back. African Booty Bandit. No, all my kids are at the house here asleep. But yeah, I think that they're coming back. I think that they're going to plateau out though, and I think that the plateau is probably hitting probably about now with the Omicron. Probably pronouncing that wrong. The new variant that we got going on now is probably contributing to these new increases. I don't know. I think they're going to plateau out, and then they're going to be gone again from the hospitals at least. I don't think that they're I don't think they're going to stay around forever. For AM blood sugar checks, I have a lab draw and use their numbers. I have so with the lab draw, when people have the PIC line, at least when I was on the diabetic unit, if they had a PIC line, I would pull from the PIC line, and like that little bit of blood that's on the end of the saline tube, I would I would actually use that sometimes. When I was in dialysis, that was the easiest place to get it, because they're hooked up to that machine, and it's, you got all these tubes and all these ports and whatnot. I would literally like pull the tiniest little bit from that machine, because certain parts of that machine pull and certain parts push, and you just have to make sure you did it before the filter. And I would pull it then, like the quickest little pull, because you don't need just the tiniest little bit to go on those things. So yes, I have definitely used that trick, except I've done it with pick lines, and I've done it with. Sometimes if you have like the butterfly, you can get a little bit out of the tube there. If you gotta be careful with that though. Don't whatever. But yes, I've definitely done other things to get blood draws out of that. Days of LPN in hospitals is done, except for LTACs, long-term care acute centers, I'm assuming what you're talking about, and rehab hospitals. In Houston, you've got to have a BSN even to apply, and super's got to have a and supervisor's got to have a MSN. Ooh, wow! I've had plenty of ADN supervisors. Like when I first got into it, I think all of my supervisors were ADNs. Of course, I'm not in Houston. I'm not in the most populated of areas. But yes, I think that I think locally they are hiring LPNs in the hospitals. They are. Like I said, I think they're going to plateau out, and they're going to just drop off tremendously when all these variants, because I'm sure there's going to be another variant show up soon. When all these variants are finally done, I think that they're just going to drop off and be done. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. How am I? I am doing great. Nice beard, thank you. I just trimmed it up. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Christmas is a week from today, I believe. In America, is it easy to be a home health aide? Would I need training? I was a home health aide. Why in America? It's a NPI number, an independent nurse. I'll get to that one in a second. I was an HHA, but I was a CNA. Are you licensed as a CNA or just certified? I don't know. I was a CNA in the state of North Carolina, and that's what I needed to become an HHA. You can challenge the exam in North Carolina, but I took my course because it was part of my nursing program, and so yes, you would need training. It's not really hard. It's not really that hard. It is very easy. Not very easy, but it is easy to become an HHA, and you're looking at maybe like $1 or $2 over minimum wage. Not really a whole lot, but at HHA is probably the easiest CNA to become. Why in America it's a NPI number and independent nurse. An NPI number is like a provider's number. It's sort of like a license number, sort of. It is not your license number. But it's like an identifier. I think it's there for insurance reasons. I don't have one, so I don't know the specifics because I'm not an independent nurse. So I don't know the specifics. I just think it's sort of like an insurance identifier. I think it's a billing thing, like an insurance billing thing. Rather be an HHA. You can definitely be an HHA. It's not the hardest thing. Moving to Ohio. Okay. I don't know the laws of Ohio. You may or may not have to be an HHA to. You may not need training to become an HHA or certification. In Ohio, I don't know the rules. So could you be independent? I don't know the laws of being independent. I think you have to have. I think you still have to answer to a nurse. I think you still have to report. You still have to report off. I think you'd be like a private duty sitter, but that's not really an HHA. Yeah, I don't know. Private duty sitter would be pretty cool. But you're not looking at making a lot of money unless you get like some wealthy family who just wants you to take over sitting with their children, or I mean their mother. I mean, they don't have HHS certification or training in Ohio anymore. That might be due to the shortage. So definitely look into that. That's something. You're starting to get into stuff that, one, I'm not from Ohio, so I have no idea. Two, the independent part, I don't know about that either. So you're starting to get into things I have no clue about. So that's my best answer, I guess. I'm not CNA, LVN, RN, BSN, MSN, FNP, PhD, or DNP. PhD is now free? Okay. 30 schools offer free PhD for nurses, fully funded. I just don't want research. I want research. I do. I do want to do research. But help. I don't know that I can help with that. That is a lot of stuff. Oh, thank you. African Booty Bandit. Thank you for the new sub. Hey, baby. Will you do me a favor? Can you give me something to drink? Thank you. I love you. I don't know what I would rather do. I would honestly, FNP is my end goal, so I don't know that I could answer either question. DNP would be pretty cool. I knew a DNP that was a cardiologist. I guess you're a cardiologist if you're DNP. I don't know. He was in cardiac. Do I need to get high school diploma? High school diploma, I think that's what that is for STNA. Not sure. How funny, I said a name without laughing. I mean, it's it's the person's name. I'm gonna read it off, even though it is Booty Bandit. Yes, I was able to do it. Where was I at? I was talking about the DNP. DNP was a cool name because that person's name, the name that went with that doctor was a name of a doctor in movies, like plenty of movies. And so just because he was a doctor, a DNP, we always called him by the movie that he was known for, or his name was known for, which was fun on my part. So that's, got to keep it professional. Yes, got to keep it professional. GED would probably be easier to get than a high school diploma, depending on your age. I don't know. I don't know the laws on that. I just, I don't know. I think GED, all you gotta do is take a test. Not 100% sure. I'm not the best on the GEDs and the high school diplomas. They need so many nurses. Oh, sorry. Reading Christina S.'s comment here. They need so many nurses, BSN, ADN, to replace the nursing shortage right now and in the future. However, they make nursing schools and clinicals so difficult to get accepted, etc. Not saying nurses should come out of school competent, but the politics behind it all is stressful and makes you want to go back to school and obtain higher degrees. Just an opinion. Yes, and I have said multiple times that it would be best if we had some sort of workforce development program for kids in high school to go ahead and start community college classes so that they could graduate, be 18 years old and be 2/3 of the way through their LPN program or ADN program, whatever it may be. Yes, they definitely need to work better as far as getting people in and out of school. It would be much easier that way to replace people, I think, if they had them young. Thank you, baby. My beautiful wife brought me a drink as she lays down for bed. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to...
You have to move the elf.
Huh?
You have to move the elf.
Oh, I got to move the elf on the shelf as well.
I can't reach it.
Okay, I'll get her in just a second. So with her going to bed, I don't know how much longer I'm on the live stream. But I've said for years that there needs to be a workforce development program for high school kids to help with this nursing shortage, because it is massive out there right now. And yes, there's politics behind it. I think there's a lot of money to be made, especially these for-profit schools, which I have said I will go to a for-profit school to finish my degree, and I will. But I think that there needs to be workforce development. I think that the for-profit schools really work in people who are my age, the older individuals who just want to hurry up and do it. But I think there needs to be workforce development. The people say hello to you, my beautiful wife. They did actually say hello. Do you want to see that they actually said hello to you? But going to buy a college degree next week. Can you buy college degrees? Hello, Mama. Tell her we say hello.
Hi. And where am I looking? In that camera?
This is the camera. And this is the screen I'm reading the comments on, and this is what everybody's seeing.
Oh, okay.
So quite a setup. I had to figure out how to do this.
It's just delayed over there.
It's a few seconds delayed, yeah. I've never counted it, but it's a few seconds delayed. What does he say here? I agree with the last comment you read. Only needed 4 classes to get an LPN back then. Now people spend 1 to 2 years in prereqs. Yes, people spend way too long in prereqs, especially to get LPN degrees, because the degree is a one year degree, but it's really like 4 years of prereqs to get the 1 year degree.
If I sit right here, can they still see me? Probably not.
Yeah, you can sit right there, but they'll still see you.
Okay, I'll see them.
You have
they
to
still see me.
Yeah. So yeah, there's way too many prereqs in it. There just needs to be a workforce development. Things need to transfer over further. Let me figure out where I'm at here. Sorry to hear that. Buy your degree online. I did not know we could buy our degree online. The same with medical schools. That's why they don't create them, even though their demand is more for medical schools. Yes, the demand is huge, and I think that, and they make them far away too. Like we're not in a very rural area. We're in a very rural area. Our closest medical school is in Raleigh, I think, or Wake Forest has one, don't they? Yeah, Wake Forest has a medical school. So
yeah, Wake Forest. No.
Yeah, but like Raleigh and Wake Forest, and the two of them are like 2 hours from each other, and I think ECU also has one, and they're 2 hours like the other way, like even further. And so,
Get my phone.
All right. And so they're so far apart, these medical schools are, and they're not easy to get into. Yes, it's hard, and luckily the nursing schools, at least locally, like they're all in community college. Like every community college has one locally.
I see your name. It's not that bad. I've seen way worse than that.
Sorry about my name. It doesn't say bad words. It's just,
It's just different.
The African booty bandit.
It's just different.
Yeah. Do you steal booties? Like, do you physically take booties and run away with them? like a bandit, with the bandana mask? Just, there's only 1 week. Yes, I can believe Christmas is 1 week away, because I've been counting down for a while. Just have. It.
We like Christmas.
Yeah, we love Christmas, so, we gotta move the elf on the shelf here in just a second.
Where should we move it? Give us an idea.
Somewhere.
Tell them to give us an idea.
Private school for LPN cost is $52,000. Is that out the door $52,000? Because that's probably what ECPI is right now for for-profit schools. Video game name tag. Okay. All right, but $52,000 is probably what ECPI would be out the door. I think it's somewhere around 60.
From start to finish, it'd probably be anywhere around here is normal.
Well, I only paid.
But I mean, start to finish, you already had courses.
Right, but I'm talking about community college. It's like, I think it's listed right now in community college like $5,200.
Yeah.
So like 1/10 of the cost at a community college.
Yeah.
But I think a private, or ECPI at least, is like.
Let me look it up.
You can. Like 0 to done is like 18 months, I think.
Where do you want me to look up first?
Wherever you want to go. ECPI, because they're in Greensboro. Excuse me. What did Joe say on this one? Was begging for nurses to come back, leaving travel, thinking that they left their nurses slow down. Oh yeah, the travel nurses, the people going from here to there to everywhere traveling. The craziest thing about the travel nurses is like paid $5K when I finished my LPN at a community college in 2006. Yeah, it sounds about right. I want to say I don't know what mine was, but yeah, $5K. Yeah, so 1/10 of the cost. I mean, yeah, that was 2006, but still, even since 2006, I doubt it's gone up a tremendous amount. It's probably still about that. Maybe $2,000 more, maybe $7K. Once you figure up inflation. But anyways, the travel nurses that are working like Chicago, and then they travel to LA, and then the LA nurses travel to Chicago, so they're like switching places and making double the money where they were from. Why not just pay who you got more, and like a keeper's fee instead of a traveler's fee?
No, I ain't doing this. They're gonna be calling me.
No, don't let them call you. Yeah, don't look all that up if they're gonna start calling you. We don't want to do that. But yeah, why not start paying nurses? Of course, I'm not a CEO, so I don't know. But why not just start paying nurses like a lot more than what you're paying them now, so that you can just keep them? Christian Shorts, #Shorts. I'll wave back at you. I think that's a wave. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's a wave.
Okay. So, wave back at you. Christian Shorts, #Shorts. Is that your full name? Or your full username, I should say? I always love golf cart questions. I don't know why. I always just love golf cart questions because they get the most views for some reason. I love golf carts also. Do I still have the Toyota truck? No! I sold the Toyota truck.
Sad day.
It was a sad day. We actually took pictures with it, with me and the kids holding up signs that said last day. I don't remember the last day, but yeah, we had signs up, and everybody was so sad to sell it. It didn't hold everybody, and it only had 2 seats in it, and it was old, and we needed the money at the time, and so we sold it, and got money for it. Yeah, it was a sad day. Yeah, it was a sad day. I miss that truck, man. I do. I got that truck in '97. And I sold it in, I think, 2019.
Middle was born.
Yeah, the middle one was born. So, we at least had the middle one.
We possibly was pregnant with the third one.
It's very possible. So let me see. I lost track of where I'm at. Double ED nurses making $10K a week working 48-hour schedules. Yes, I don't doubt that. I don't make $5K a week. So... yeah, I actually I think I read that article that ED nurses were making $10K a week. I think New York City they're making like $10K a week and bringing home living expenses. So yes, that is ridiculous. That's like 4 times as much. Probably more than that actually. No, that'd be way more than 4 times as much. Yeah, that's $40,000 a month. So what's that? 4 times 12 is $480,000 a year. That's $500,000. Woo! Toyota truck is a classic. Yes, it was a classic truck.
That Toyota truck was a classic.
Yes, it was a '88.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was '88.
No, it was older than you.
No, it was '88. I thought, all right, I think it was 88. It was fuel injected. It was the first year it was fuel injected. I do remember that much.
I thought it was an 84.
I don't think it's an 84. No, because it had independent front suspension. 84 had a solid axle.
Okay.
I think it was 88. I heard hospitals get a lot of funding from the government to pay travel nurses so that they may be it. I have an idea if that's true or not. I agree with you. Pay nurses to stay. Yes, pay everybody to stay. Just pay everybody to stay. I have heard rumors about the government pay and that it's actually going to like other things. That's not coming back to the nurses. I've heard that rumor. I've heard it since COVID really started. And I've heard like that's why you see the CEOs getting bonuses and whatnot. Don't know that it's actually true, but I've definitely heard the rumors that government is funding a lot of it, and it's going to other things. So it is what it is. The issue is that hospitals don't pay retention bonuses or increases. Yes, that is the issue. We need retention bonuses. Good title for what it should be, or increases. Yes, I would like a retention bonus, or both an increase and a retention bonus. Yes, that would be. Is it a burn?
From where it was at where I was holding the lighter.
Oh yeah, that ain't no good. Let's see, where are we at? You're a nurse and don't make $5K a week during. No, I don't make $5K a week during COVID. I don't make $5K a check. No, that's a true story. Yeah, we don't make. Yeah, we're not. Not all of us make that kind of money. I don't.
You're not in the hospital either.
But
they don't make that in the hospital.
No, they don't make that in the hospital here either. It's sad that teachers and nurses don't make any money. Teachers
need more money.
Teachers need more money, but I get jealous of teachers, to be quite honest with you, because they don't work Saturday and Sunday. They work like 180 days, I think. Actually, they probably work about 200 days.
They have, when they have teacher work days and things like that.
Because they're in school for like 180 days. But, there's, I'll say 20 days that they don't have students that they still work. But they have like the whole summer off. And then, they're going for Christmas break right now here in a second. Man, I get jealous as all get out of those teachers, man. It's terrible. 35% of that 10K is tax free. I have heard that as well. That,
for the housing.
Yeah, that your taxes are different and like it doesn't even come out of your taxes. Like when you file, which is also terrible. I don't know. Terrible is the wrong word. Which is also amazing if you're a travel nurse. So you're actually getting paid 4 times as much as the regular floor nurses, which is whatever.
Need more drink?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay.
No, because we're at 11:15 now, so I'll probably go for a little bit longer. But yeah, it sucks that that's terrible like that. Some regions in Finland pay teachers more than doctors. Finland is also, if I'm not mistaken, the richest per capita country. It's one of the Scandinavian countries. It might be Norway, it might be Finland, could even be Sweden. Not 100%, but yes, I could see that. I could definitely see that. They also have a low population, like somewhere around 9 million for their entire country, and they're full of resources as well. So yeah, I could definitely see that.
I think it's cool you're doing nurse.
Oh, what made me decide to be a nurse? What did I do before becoming a nurse? I worked for Chevrolet before becoming a nurse. And what made me decide to become a nurse? When we got married, it was a little bit before we got married. The economy tanked. And I went to the library one day because we didn't have the internet to look for jobs, and all the jobs that were being offered were nursing. And it's something I thought I could do, and that was like when I decided to become a nurse.
School too. Yeah.
And she was in school, and we had to do something. So that was really it.
Yeah, we were being complete opposite careers that we should be at that point in time.
Yes. So I had to, was our oldest on the way at the time? No, we weren't married. No, yeah, our
That's
oldest.
before
Yeah,
we got
before we got married.
Because I was in school to be a cop.
Yeah, you were in school to be a cop, and then we got married, and then both of us finished school, and she did not become a cop, but still finished, and rest is history. I don't understand, Cecilia, what that means. So, I don't know what VAWR tech is. I don't understand that one. Sorry. Nursing is becoming less stereotyped as a woman's job. Right now, I work on a unit that is more men than women.
Yeah.
Currently, we are percentage-wise more men than women on my unit, and the men that are on the job have been nurses for several years now. None of us are new grads. What's the worst thing you've saw or experienced while being a nurse? As far as what though?
And what part you're at?
Yeah.
You've had different things at different.
It depends on like something that happened to someone, a patient death.
Maybe not even that. Maybe it's a football game.
I mean, yeah.
That was.
Yeah, I mean,
Because that was in front of our kids.
We saw a woman die at a football game, and I did compressions on her in the parking lot. But you know, so to be more specific of what the worst thing I've seen was, ED Cath Lab. The SICU is male dominated. Yeah, I mean, I'll agree. Yeah, ED definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you get, you don't know what you're getting at the ED. They just show up there. Cath Lab, I could see that. Yeah. Anything I've seen. One time I saw a prostitute that had been beaten to death by her pimp.
Went on lockdown for that one. Went on lockdown for that one.
We had a shooting at my facility one time. Am I a Cowboys fan? I am purposely not a fan of any team because I am so bad at sports that I just don't watch it. Racing is the only sport that I watch.
He's not a football or any sports fan whatsoever.
No, I don't.
I can vouch for that.
I do not watch sports at all. But I talked earlier about...
Is that your boba tea? Baba?
I think it's Baba, but it might be Boba. I've been saying Baba, but it might be Boba. But earlier I talked about a man, they pulled his skull out and put it in his stomach. And I got to touch his brain. Saw that. I've done chest compressions on quite a few people, some young, some old.
But chest compressions in front of having to get our kids away from us.
Yeah, doing chest compressions in front of our children was probably one of the worst.
And I was having to do crowd control to keep people away. Yeah, that's.
Like I showed up. I don't remember which child was on my shoulders, but I showed up.
How many celebrities come to your job?
No celebrities. Not anybody. I like local celebrities, but not anybody. Like national wise, but the lady that died in the parking lot of the high school football game, I had one of our children on my shoulders, and I just walked up like, here I am, because they said, they say we need a nurse or we need a doctor.
A friend of ours said, get Chris.
Yes, I had no clue what was going on.
And I said, okay. She said, I need his help. I said, all right. So I run and grab him, and our oldest is on his shoulders, and
No, my mother-in-law's from Alabama. She's from North Carolina. I think he saw the video where we went to Alabama.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My side of the family's from Alabama.
The lady dying in the parking lot.
Yeah. So I realized what was going on, so I grabbed the older one and take her to the van with the other two and my grandma. And him and our friend are doing that, and the cops are standing there like not letting you have the flashlight, not letting them do anything, and I'm doing crowd control and all these teenage kids.
And then somehow, like, the athletic director slapped an AED to this woman and shocked her. So it was awesome.
Oh yeah, because I ran and said we need the. I ran and got the.
Yeah, it was awesome.
yeah, that was a fun time.
Can you try a tongue twister a maid? I don't like. Do you want me to say a tongue twister?
That you made?
I don't know. I can try.
Can you try that? Yeah.
We can
that
try.
you made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does brain feel? It's pretty firm actually.
Squishy.
It's not squishy. No, you're from North Carolina, Alabama. How much time you spend charting? I don't know how to answer that. A lot, all day. You never
He's always
stop
late.
charting.
He's always late.
Explain the touch of a brain. No, it's not like touching unthaw ground beef at all. I don't know. It's like it was firm. It was like a. It'd be like it's like touching
A muscle, probably.
firm part of your arm. That's it
Like
didn't squish.
like a muscle, probably. Like
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a muscle. Your brain's a muscle.
Yeah, it didn't squish. And it was for some sort of assessment. I cannot remember the assessment, but he had a head injury, but his stomach. Say these.
Alpha Kenny 1.
Let me say it in my head before I make sure it's not like the sofa one.
Oh. No, don't say it.
Okay.
Oh, I had to say it slow. Don't say it.
Let's see what you did there.
Is your wife?
No.
No.
No, my wife is not in
I'm
the
a
healthcare
cook.
field. She's a line cook at a
I'm a
barbecue
line
joint.
cook.
Because we are in the barbecue capital of the world. Every restaurant is barbecue related in some way, shape, or form.
I said that, but I said it like very much like.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't. Didn't sound like it was supposed to.
So yeah, I tried it. I tried the tongue twister in my mind.
Yeah, there you
go. We can show that one. I don't see anything wrong with that one. What did that say? No. Is it channel? I'm surprised you don't have over 200,000 subs. Well, thank you for that, but it's really hard to get subs on the channel. Actually, believe it or not, it's not as easy as what you would think. Everybody gets on YouTube and they're like, oh, everybody's gonna be Mr. Beast and have however many millions of followers he's got. It takes a lot of time. I've had this channel up for 5 or 6 years now. I just hit 2,500. So yeah, it takes a while. The 21-year-old overdosing on Viagra at the ED. Kids will take anything. I don't know why. I remember being young myself. I don't know. It's like something that your body psychologically changes in your mind to just all of a sudden take a million of whatever you can get.
Especially if other people are doing it.
Yeah, I guess somebody else took the Viagra as well. Where did a 21-year-old get Viagra? Is the big question.
Probably from their dad.
Probably from their dad. And I think I've never seen. I think Viagra comes in a pack.
Yeah,
I'm not
it does.
100% sure. It comes in a bottle or a pack.
You can get it from a doctor in a bottle. Like you can get a full prescription of it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't remember Viagra. What are your hobbies? Really, just YouTube. Is my
hobby. Who are you asking?
Yeah, me or her. Because I really just do the YouTube thing. And like everything I do outside of like spending time with the kids is literally on YouTube. That's why the golf cart is so much on YouTube. Are we excited about New Year? I could take it or leave it. I'm not. I don't really care. It's just another day. 21-year-old almost lost a third of his leg. Oh wow! Did he shoot it up? You can order. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that, Joe. Yeah, you could probably order them because I hear commercials where you can order on the radio. I hear commercials about uh, the ED meds. But
Mhm. They
the
drained
kid that did
his.
he shoot up the Viagra? Like what? Why did he almost lose his leg? Was it blood flow issue? Like did he throw a clot or something? 20 mLs.
Lost his third
Oh, almost lost his third leg. I did not read the third part.
leg.
Clearly,
Not a
I'm
third of his leg. Lost
not
his
a
third leg.
lost his third leg. I understand now. I was not following beforehand. Yes, I'm finally on the same
I
page
had to
as
read
you.
it for him.
Uh, um, wow. Okay, yeah. Now I'm fully aware of
I
why him
mean,
has lost it.
yeah.
How is he doing like everything else wise? Like, cause it does things to your blood pressure, doesn't it? Um, I think it does things to your blood pressure because I think that's how they developed it to begin with, and they
My
figured
own
out
security company.
law enforcement is well needed.
I'm not in law enforcement anymore.
No,
I got pregnant with our oldest
right
right after I
after.
graduated, and you have to get hired on within a year of graduating.
And you were still on maternity leave.
I would have been finished. No, she was due a week before it
Your year,
ended.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't have got hired on into a facility,
No.
which is fine because it it wouldn't have worked out with him being a nurse and me being a cop. Hours wise, somebody would have to be. There would be a time where neither one of us was at home at night.
Yeah, I knew blood rise, but I feel like they developed it as a blood pressure medication to begin with. But yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that that's how it worked was blood rush to your third leg. I get it this time. Um, but I think that it was actually done on accident. I feel like it was an original like I'm gonna say the metoprolol. I don't think it was a metoprolol replacement, but um, I feel like that's what it was. They were trying to do a new blood pressure medication and accidentally accidentally found out it in men this is what it does. Because I'm sure that they tried to rush like blood to your core, um, but had to drain it out of his man parts. Man, that is
Stupid.
yeah, man. Don't understand. Don't understand why kids want to take so much stuff. It is ridiculous.
They're kids.
I know. We were young at one point in time too,
Mm-hmm.
but Austin never took a mess load of Viagra.
Yeah, just other stuff.
Yeah. Vasodilator, yeah. Big words. Big words for what I. Thank you. You have a blessed night as well.
Good night.
Good night. Shorts. Yes.
Shorts. Hashtag shorts.
Yeah, shorts, hashtag shorts. But yes, vasodilator. I'm tired and my brain is not working. We can show that one. During the trials, it was not really lowering BPs on so many people were having. Yeah, yeah. Y'all aren't old. Are we supposed to be old? Or is it because we're talking about like kids? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Wanted wanted to go longer with his girlfriend.
Or his girlfriend wanted him to go longer with
Her,
her.
yeah, her girlfriend wanted him to go longer. She said, "Hey, my dad's got this stuff in the drawer."
And you suck.
You're not going very long, son. Whatever it was, Yeah. That. Ooh. It is what it is.
No, because you said when you were younger.
Oh, like it was a long time ago. No, it wasn't.
I mean,
It wasn't like a long time ago.
we just don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
A lot has changed, in life in general since we were that young. But 21. You were 21 when we got married, weren't you?
was 22 when I married.
You had just turned 22, like 2 months before it, though.
I mean, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was 10
11 years ago.
Yeah.
I was 21 11 years ago. I'm only 32, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, so, yeah, a lot. It's just, a lot's changed, so it's not.
I mean, we have 3 kids now.
We have 3 children now, so it is what it is. You think we should do the thing that the live streamers are doing, where we have the blue and purple lights behind us, and we turn the big lights out and live stream and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we should do that. Yeah.
We get the actual background.
Yeah, the full effect on our closet doors, because I could see our closet doors in there.
And pictures
Of our oldest.
Oldest when she was a baby.
When she was little, yeah. Yeah. We should definitely try that. Definitely. Let's read one about IVs at the dialysis center. I have never done more IVs in my life than when I was at the dialysis center. They're a little bit different because the needles are whatever the biggest gauge you can think of, and then multiply it by 2. They are like that big around, and they're like that long, and they go all the way in those fistulas, and they push and pull. And so, yes, if you ever wanted to do an IV, the dialysis center is the place for you. However, that's probably
long hours.
Yeah, that's probably the most hours I think I've ever worked.
Nursing home.
The nursing home was the longest I
Because
ever
people wouldn't
worked.
show up for their shifts.
This is true. I mean, people quit showing up.
They didn't show up for their shift. You had to wait till they came.
This is true. There's that one night I had to stay from like 6 A to 10 P.
Yeah, you were there all day.
Yeah, and that was terrible. Good night, Joe.
Good night.
From Alabama. From Huntsville.
Oh, Huntsville. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were in Opelika.
Yeah.
Near West River?
It's near Auburn.
Auburn.
It's close to Auburn.
Auburn. Yeah. Auburn.
I come from a family of proud doctors, and you can imagine how disappointed they were. Hey.
I don't see why they would be disappointed. We had one of my favorite doctors I've ever worked with. Both of his kids. One was a radiology student, or not X-ray tech, radiology sonographer.
Yeah, he was big in radiology.
And then his daughter was I don't even think she was a BSN. I think she was an ADN. He was super proud of his kids.
I mean, but I get it. They're probably.
I mean, yeah, they're doctors, but there's nothing wrong with being an RN.
Nah.
No, absolutely nothing.
You said good night.
Good
night.
Good night. A dialysis nurse left a patient to die because his code status was blank. That is terrible. You treat everyone as a full code until you get DNR orders. So that's messed up. That is. I mean, I understand that a dialysis nurse is like super busy, but at the same time, you don't leave somebody to die. You don't leave them hooked up or anything like that while you don't know their code status. You always push until or compress until you know their code status.
Yeah.
Yeah. According to her, she did not resuscitate the patient because there was no code status. Isn't full yeah. Full.
She messed up.
Yeah. Full resuscitate is default status. I have seen DNIs, do not intubates, but you still do compressions. So I mean, there's so many different things. So if it's blank, it's full code until. I thought that was standard. I thought if it's blank, it's full code until everything gets.
Back up.
Yeah, until it gets verified.
Something.
Yeah. So. Me neither. I'm proud of what I'm doing. It's just unfortunate to me. Some people are narrow-minded. Yes, it is unfortunate. Some people are narrow-minded. It sucks. It happens everywhere you go.
That's everywhere.
It's just everywhere. Yeah, and like somebody said earlier, the nursing field's becoming more diverse, whereas it used to be just women. Now it's becoming just a little bit of everybody. And I've said before for a while that nursing is like the only area where it's really like not what normally it's not what you know but who you know, but in nursing it's equal playing field. You know, it's not. If you know somebody who's here, it really doesn't help you in nursing. You know, but you know, if your dad's an electrician, you're going to become an electrician because it's who you know. But in nursing, it doesn't really work that way. You can't really get legs up because you know certain people. I guess you could, but it's not the same. So yeah, people are definitely narrow-minded. Well, it is 11:35 local time. We have to be up in the morning, and I've been at this for a little over 2 hours now. Ready to call it a night?
I'm pretty tired.
I am as well. Let's read this last one from Baba T. Tried hospice nursing. Tried it for a week. It broke me. Too emotional. Kids with cancer. I couldn't do it. Yeah, that's terrible.
He has no emotions, so he would be fine.
That's messed up. I mean, I don't have any emotions.
But you dealt with it in the diabetic heart failure unit. I mean, you've seen it so many times.
Yeah, when I was on the DICU, I was okay. But my buddy Rob, the very, very first comment that I looked at, my buddy Rob, he did hospice for a long time. He doesn't really talk about it. But yeah, I can definitely see how it would break you. Yeah, definitely. It would be a hard thing to do. I've never done it. I have had hospice patients before. But I've never, done hospice. But it's not something I've ever tried. But
you've been peds too, though.
I've been in peds, but I've never had like that kind of sick peds. The peds I had, like.
Well, they were gonna die.
Eventually, yeah, but I didn't ever have them.
Not with you, though.
They were
not at your.
Happy to tune in with the stream, guys. Have a good night. Good night, man. We're gonna call it quits here. But yeah, I think I could do hospice. I don't want to though.
No.
I don't want to. I don't have.
You like where you're at.
Yeah, I like where I'm at. I don't have the drive to do hospice. I think I could. I just don't really care to.
I'm not meaning you don't have any. He's able to turn off his emotions and break away from things like that.
Just leave it at the job, yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that.
He's able to be able to be like, okay, that's work. This is home. And be able to be like, okay.
But no, I've never tried it. I don't really want to, but it is what it is. But good night, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you. I'm so happy that you guys did tune in. I was actually thinking I was going to be driving around a racetrack on my. I've even got it pulled up on my iRacing here, and I had so many comments that I did not have to do that. So thank you guys so very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your comments. We'll do this again sometime, and maybe I'll bring the wife. I don't know. She might have enjoyed it.